What's up, my homies? It's Edible Incredible, and today I'm actually going to go non-scripted here for a second. Okay, so there are a bunch of articles in the last 2 days about this same quote from Aonuma that was taken from the acceptance speech from the Game Awards, and it was translated, and there was some weird stuff going on to where the tweet was deleted, who initially did it, so this is a little sus. I don't know. Take this all with a grain of salt. So, the quote says, the translation says, in the sequel, Tears of the Kingdom, furthermore, the player's free imagination will be filled with new gameplay that will bring about changes to the game world, shares Aonuma. Aonuma later stated that he hoped everyone will be pleasantly surprised while exploring Hyrule. When I was reading through these articles, it seems that changes to the game world could mean travel in a lot of people's eyes. How we travel in the sky with objects that seem to be built by Link. But I do not think that that is the case. If that was the case, I don't think he would say changes to the game world. When he says changes to the game world, that is a physical change to the game world, not just how we traverse the game world. So the first thing I think of is the Sky Islands. The Sky Islands, they rise up, right? That's a physical change to the game world. But does that happen before the game starts? Or does that happen during the game when Ganondorf is awakened, maybe? So that's the first thing I think of. I'm like, okay, should I even make this video? Because if it's simply alluding to the Sky Islands, this is not worth it. But because he says pleasantly surprised, it's like, okay, we already know the Sky Islands are a big thing. It is all over all of the trailers. Pleasantly surprised, this is something that is probably unexpected, something that they are hiding. So a physical change to the game world, a beautiful example of this would be A Link to the Past. The Dark World. The Dark World is essentially also Hyrule, but it is a different realm slapped on top. Another great example of this would be Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, but it is a time change, which affects the game world physically. 7 years into the future, 3 days into the future in terms of Majora's Mask, and so on. These are physical changes to the game world. Wind Waker has a physical change to the game world, but happens before the game starts, of course, with the Great Flood causing the Great Sea. So those are 4 physical changes to a Zelda game. I don't believe Twilight Princess had this unless you consider the Twilight Realm, but that is a whole different realm that is not layered on top of Hyrule, like the Dark World is. Skyward Sword does not have this, Breath of the Wild does not have this. They love to do this. I could easily see it to where they're bringing back a Dark World feel, or a time travel gimmick. A lot of people do not like this concept, but I can see this happening, especially in this trailer, to where it seems like we're going through a portal. So an idea that my friend had when he read players' free imagination will be filled with new gameplay that will bring about changes to the game world. He was imagining the Sky Islands, how maybe they could be randomly generated, or they can be altered by what Link or the player decides, aka our imagination of how we want to see the world. So will we see something similar to Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask with a time premise? Or will it be something like the Wind Waker with the catastrophic event? Or will it be something like A Link to the Past where we are entering a new realm? Once again, take this all with a grain of salt because the translation could be wrong. Take my theories with a grain of salt as well, but in my personal viewpoint, it feels like he is saying there will be a physical change to the game world. Whether that's the obvious with the Sky Islands, or something we don't know about quite yet. Let me know what you think. Anyway, you guys have a good night. As always, I hope you all stay hyped. Peace. Peace.